Alrighty. So, of course, we could sit here and talk about how most of the modern world and, what is considered a first world country, we could sit here and talk about how lazy these countries have just overly become because the over printing of money and just the constant injection of cash flow to try to keep everything at bay. Nonetheless, let's talk about the economy, and not in a we're not going to get too deep. Let's just focus on the Feds, the stock market. That's it. Wall Street and the Feds. One of the biggest problems with the market here is that everybody has just basically been like inflating numbers and just been lying. Lazy people lie. It's just like reduce it down to like making small like projections for an area manager job, right? Most of these senators, that's what they are, just like area managers and regional managers and CEOs, of a state per se, right? But nonetheless, how would I fix the market in the most extreme way, right? The most extreme way for me to just fix the market in the way it stands now is to completely just get rid of all day trading. Period. With the systems put into place to make the market just move so quickly forward, for these trades to just boom, 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 be done in a split of a second is the biggest problem that the market itself has created. Why? Because it just simply opens up all these fast forward moving projections, and they're always thinking about 10 years ahead. And right now it's 10 years. I think we all learned our lessons. We got to think about the now more than we got to think about 10 years down the line, because day traders, if you think about it, that's what they do. They just think about right now. Let me cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out. Let me trade this, let me trade that. And to me, what that is causing is just ill books. Nothing really gets to close out. The books never really get to close out like they used to, and like way back in the beginning of Wall Street. We have to let the market have a period of time to close books. We can't just continuously be pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, because these day traders are just creating these inconsistencies of money being pulled this way, money being pulled that way, and then aftermarket trading. And not only that, but the way hedge funds intermingle with big data sets, especially in the tech sector. We've all seen what crypto has done. So at this point in time, it's a really good thing for everybody to just take a step back and really assess their portfolios, and especially question these hedge funds and these day traders, especially on the crypto side. The market needs to pause. It needs to give itself time to recalibrate, because with all this quantitative tightening, and that's the reduction of it all, right? That's the new word of it all, is quantitative tightening. Just so we could all get a quick understandment. Just give me 1 second. So here's the thing about quantitative tightening. Quantitative tightening, also known as balance sheet normalization, is a type of monetary policy followed by central banks. It simply means that a central bank reduces the pace of reinvestment of proceeds for maturing government bonds. and is the exact opposite as the monetary stance of quantitative easing. Quantitative tightening also means that the central banks may increase interest rates as tool to curb the money supply in the economy. In addition, the central banks may devise a schedule to determine how the reinvestment process is slowed and is to be followed until its balance sheet gets normalized. Such a state of normalization is determined by the central bank itself. The goal is not to unwind all the money lent to the government in the past, especially because its currency flows increase in any economy. The size of the asset of the central bank also grows. And as we went, everything seemed just fine, and then we got to reducing down to the summary of it all, right? And that's when we're all like, wait, go back and read it like 3 more times, right? Quantitative easing, right? When we take it easy, baby. Central banks inject money into the economy. That's what Trump, played his part in. That's what Trump's role was, to act a certain way, play a certain part, and here we are, right? We did all the quantitative easing. We injected money with the stimulus. Because where did y'all think the money came from? Where did y'all think the money came from when it came to Trump's stimulus checks? You guys just thought that was straight out from the savings account? And we were just pulling out funds from the savings? Yeah, no. So now we are in a quantitative tightening stage, right? When it comes down to the market. And the reason why we want to spread that joyful word of quantitative tightening is the fact that the Trump era is over, speaking politically, and it's over. All the easing that could have been done is done. Now, what y'all did with your paychecks that y'all got from the government, then that's on you. Most of y'all did what? Went and spent it on overpriced TVs. You should have held on to that money, and you could have been buying some cheap-ass TVs right now. Even, I don't even want to be considered an economist, period. Because most of these economists are just a shame. I'm sorry, they really are. They really are. They just pump and dump. Everything you hear on TV, on major media, is just pump and dumps. Everything you see on most of these trending social media is pump and dump. So yeah, now we're going to get into a state of quantitative tightening. What else are we going to do? What else are we going to do? Quantitative easing again? Print out a bunch of stimulus? I mean, we kind of already did that by sending money to Ukraine. We should have just stayed out their business. Period. If you want to talk world, war economics, plain and simple, it's a bad investment. Ukraine is a bad investment. They are so heavily corrupt. Biden should already know this, and that's why Biden's giving them money. So how are we going to get out of this? How are we going to find equilibrium, right? If we are knowing that when it comes to investing, it doesn't really matter. We just want to trend it, right? We want to get that quick high, that quick fix. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, period. So it's time to get creative with your money, especially if you have plenty of money to stimulate the economy. It's time to stimulate the economy. It's time to really hold up what do you call these people nowadays? A philanthropist? Yeah, it's time to do some philanthropy. And not in the structural way of Microsoft and reinvesting in yourself. It's time to truthfully stimulate new businesses. You guys can't just sit back and watch a trend on a chart go up or down and let that dictify what you're going to put your funds into. Because that's how you end up with pump and dump messes and schemes, and you need to create a quantitative easing. So don't be mad at the feds for doing their job. Now, I got my own bones to pick with the feds, but that's on the structure of, FBI, they overprinted so much monetary notes that at this point it's fraud. And everybody that played into the old market of the cost of us having to go into a quantitative tightening stage in the market should be hold liable. And they are being hold liable, as y'all could see on the graphs. The quantitative easing is working at a very good rate. As I see it, it's great. It's great. Because the whole point to it is not seeking the next best thing right now. It's not. It's making sure that the quantitative easing happens, that the P&L gets inputted with correct numbers. Not overly inflated, egotistic, eccentric numbers just to get you better funding for next quarter. But at this point, most of these, I trust the banking system as much as anybody else does to hold your money enough. But when you start playing all these other back end games that I just don't want to get into, not because I can't keep up with that, just because it causes me a headache. And that's why I don't play those games. I veer away from those type of games because it's just the probability is an easy grab. I don't like an easy grab because look what situations we get into an easy grab. Like, that's karma. Like, I'm watching Yahoo. This is motherfucking karma. And that's mostly unemployment, like with big layoffs on the upper branches, like not so much under like the peons type of like unemployment. Of course, they always talk about federal unemployment. They never talk about actual human unemployment, like normal, like civilian unemployment. Like, it's very rare when they actually do those type of coverages. But nonetheless, I'll be honest, let Russia take over. It's not even a big deal. At this point, we need to think about transmission line infrastructure, and you could utilize that word as infrastructure. Like, okay, like it's like saying them who, the power grid, The water pipes. Draining systems. Y'all want to do a little bit of tarot. Speaking. Hashtag if you know, you know. I'm growing so fondly bored of this reality. I really am. And I'm not speaking on a self-harm type of basis. Like, Jicka, please. I'm just so bored. Like, you'll be like, nah, you just salty, you just mad. No, that was me prior to the pandemic. That was me in 2019 when I got like COVID sick and no doctor could explain what was going on with me. But we didn't find out about COVID till 2020. And this was like out in like fall. I think it was maybe in the fall. It was like mid of the year sometime, in transition of summer and fall or something like that. And I was really hefty, like with my breathing. Like, I couldn't breathe, my chest felt so heavy. I was going through these like hot flashes type of thing. My lower back hurt really bad. Like wheezing. Like, it felt like a really extreme cold and flu, and it was like a month and a half, maybe 2 months worth of like a period of transition of me getting sicker and sicker, and where I hit like the really bad point was like a month and a half, almost 2 months in. It took me like, honestly, like 3 months to get over this shit. And I went to the doctor and everything was running fine, and I honestly thought it was like, you know, HIV, you know, or AIDS, you know. Like, I was worried, but nothing of the matter like that. And then it just went away. I finally started being able to just breathe better, and then like just how I got really worse, you know, when you, like they say, when you get really bad, it's when it's gonna get better. So yeah, it was like almost a 3-month process of just going through this decline, and then about a month and a half for me to start feeling back to normal, at least okay, not worrisome of like what the hell. But even up to today, I'm still like off, right? And I'll be honest, like, COVID tests all have come out negative. I haven't gotten no shot, and I'm not an anti-vaxxer, so choose your own path on it if you wish. But it's not the same thing as PrEP. You know, I'm not gonna go about and like I'll take PrEP, but I won't take a COVID shot, and that's just my type of conundrum. But hashtag if you know, you know, on how different, I guess. But yeah, in regards to the market, we'll end it. In the past, it was in a high priestess state. That's the past. It's been going through a five of rounds. I mean, look at the interpretation of the card. Wait, what? Huh? Yeah, but if you do this, okay, no. But if you do that, and then you do that, yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. No. Twitter, Facebook. YouTube. FBI. Feds. And it's like, yeah, Wall Street, yeah, let's all just go get some coke. Let's get some coke. Yeah. Moving into the future. Five of Swords, right? Kind of like me, myself, and I situation. So, what do we gotta do? It's a double-ended sword at the end of the day. If we pick it up on our end, it's double-bladed, so somebody's gonna get cut. Can't touch this bitch, and that's Wall Street. That's the market. That's karma. And like, can't touch this bitch. Nope, you sure can't. Look at me. I'm covered in. Try. I'll get cut the fuck up. So go ahead, try the market, try karma. Don't get cut the fuck up. So chill. Let the timing happen. If you end up with two swords, walking around with two swords, go ahead and just don't get greedy, because you're gonna cut yourself. You're done. Overall, 9 of Wands. It's time to think. It's time to wonder. It's time to contemplate. Like, just don't get trapped into your own prison, because kinda already did, huh? How are we gonna slip out of it? Fuck, 6-9. 6-9 keeps stalking me. Oh, sorry about the nails. I gotta cut my nails. That's how we're gonna get out of it. By coming together, focusing on nature, growing together. As we talk about it, you know. Homies over bitches. food is not integrated into the stock market. So I don't understand why everybody just continues to talk about the stock market like that's gonna drive down food prices. It's gonna bring better cultivation of parables. It has nothing to do with agriculture. This and overall, these declines in the market, like, basically nobody could borrow money. That's the whole point to it. Is nobody gets to borrow money. Not even like the worst of borrowers can't. Because that's the thing about, there's a difference between a business credit score and a personal credit score. And that's basically what the stock market represents, is how good someone's business credit score is doing compared to another one's. And of course, you as an investor, which would be aka the bank, in a topsy backwards type of way, you would be able to better analyze of who you want to give your money to. So don't get mad when the banks don't give you money. Like, it's a vice versa thing. Like, you truly hold the power when you're messing around with Wall Street. You may not own the physical, like, piece of paper that says you're entitled to the company or whatever, but in theory, you know, in digital theory. And right now we need to veer off more on the competitive side of, like, hey, who's bringing the best, like, farming game out here? That's where we need to start investing, is in production of heavy machinery, and not like BlackRock type of investment in like war machines, but hashtag hyperbole, hashtag conspiracy, hashtag JK, hashtag like shit. Tell me I'm fucking lying. But yeah, into production lines like so, farming production lines. Get away from freaking Bill Gates and his like utopia of, oh, we're gonna build a digital ranch. Like, wakala. You wanna know where to put your money at? Put it in like John Deere and all these Indian and, well, what does Bernie say? Or the, I don't know, not Bernie, some guy I talk about that I really like. I'm not good with names, but he says invest mostly in foreign stock, because most of the labor per se, most of the manufacturing is done outside of the United States. So why would you want to own domestic stocks if you're in the United States of America? But now that the rest of the world is pulling out and being like, oh, screw y'all, like, you know, we're starting to see past the veil and the gates, and like, and when it comes down to India and the ruble, or what are they paying? The rupee. Anyways, I trust India with centralizing a backup reserve than I do China, period. India has always shown a better, like, back and forth. Even since the Victorian times, they've always shown a fuck around and find out type of attitude. Like, however, we've, as a leading country, aka more like, let's start with the Victorian times, have always taken advantage of, you know. But then you start giving them guns and stuff, and they start using them against you, and then they pull away because you weaponize the same people, you know. And here we are, the United States of America. Welcome to our great Philadelphia project. Becoming geo-isolated, not like Cuba does it, but hey, we're called the Americas for a reason. They're called Asia, South Asia, the Pacific Rim. But yes, in order for us to make food cheaper, right? Just like in the other side of the stock market, we need to, you know, invest in that, because that's what is needed. We need to produce more. And rural America, the way it's gonna get by is by better aiding these agricultural projects into bringing food back to the American table in a very close proximity, right? Like, you know, you want your food to come within 100-mile radius. Like, it's better. Like, it's better production. It's less waste. It keeps up with that 100-mile population. You know, gerrymandering. Y'all know gerrymandering. Think about it that way when it comes to agriculture. Like, the way you're gonna make farms and stuff. The way you think about gerrymandering is the way you ought to think about the way you're gonna implement these food utopias around the country to better serve the American people, so our food cost comes down. Once our food cost comes down, then that's when we're gonna have the extra funds to buy cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, and more drugs, and pharmaceutical drugs, and be able to pay for our health insurance, and be able to pay for gas, you know. And at the same time, you know, we get to feel a little bit better, and, you know, get a little bit better and re-nourish ourselves, and everybody comes up with, you know, and you guys invest in these things like farming gear, better well pumps, that just to make it cheaper. You know how much it is to like tap a well? About 3 to 5 G's depending on the area, all right? So yeah, think about investing in that type of stuff, because we need to make not even a redistribution of wealth, because I care about money less. But if you want to see a graph, I mean, just visually thinking of the graph, right? If you understand how it's all that bull with the feds and the Wall Street gangs, and then like food and agriculture, it's two different worlds. And the way the graph seems is that it's bottoming out on like the gangster side of things, and like the people side of things, it's just continuously a plateau. Put both of them together, per se, side by side. You don't have to merge them together, but where the bottom graph bottoms out in your normal market, bring in the one that nobody else talks about and make it go up. Because as soon as that one goes up, way up, by bringing food costs down, production costs down for food, and regulation and all that, like once you get all that, it's gonna help the bigger market in overall. Then you guys could balance your books meanwhile, and at the same time be ready for like some hefty gambling, because it's gonna get fun. It's gonna get hella fun. We have to get those food costs down, and right now it's mostly paying attention to that, like the agricultural game, period. Like the stocks of feed, that type of thing. The AG and food sectors within the economy. The U.S. agricultural extends beyond the farm business to include a range of farm-related industries. In 2021, agricultural, food, and related industries contribute 5.5% to the U.S. gross domestic product and provide 10.5% of the U.S. employment. American expenditures on food amount to 12% of household budgets on an average. Among federal government outlaws on farm and food programs, nutrition assistance far outpace other programs. And that's what I don't understand. Like, how can people be starving? Agriculture, foods, and related industries contribute roughly $1.264 trillion to the U.S. gross domestic profit (GDP) in 2021, a 5.5% share. The output of American farms contribute $164.7 billion of this sum, about 0.7% of the U.S. GDP. The overall contribution of the agricultural with GDP is larger than 0.7% because sectors related to agriculture rely on agricultural inputs in order to contribute added value to the economy. Sectors related to agriculture include food and beverages, manufacturing, food, beverages, food, stores. See, employment in agricultural, food, and related industries. And okay, since we all like to look at graphs, right? So this portion right here is all basically manipulated by the Wall Street people. 11.8 million jobs. Okay. Why do I say that? Because it's within the food, service, eating, and drinking places. That's mostly retail. Retail employs 11.8 coming out of Wall Street. If we take away that graph, or that section of the graph, and we look into this, what do you guys see wrong with this? This is where everything comes from. Everything. Food. Warmth. So we ain't walking around butt naked. And this is from the USDA here for the United States, right? So this is how well your country compares to others. When it comes down to serving people as a server, look at that, food stores. And I am assuming Walmart is not included in that. And if they are, like, I wonder how much, we start investing into those, like, little pies and really start getting into, like, the micro things of it all. This is 2021. No wonder nobody has a job. I mean, since everybody likes to put perspective of other, like, I mean, I don't need all this to know what's going on, because I live in most of this section of the pie graph. I don't really like dealing with this side of it all. Most of y'all don't either. That's why you guys have an attitude at work. And I get it. But don't get mad when I throw something at you. Hashtag hyperbole. But where should we invest, right? Well, there you go. You want growth? Invest at everything that gets inside of there. Textiles especially. It's the only way we're gonna, like, become more self-sufficient, because most of our clothes, most of everything, like, this is what Wall Street has done to us, like outsourcing jobs. So yeah, I'll leave you with that. Happy New Year's.